Inwood's rezoning was one of the more contentious of the Blasio administration, with lawsuits flying back and forth between local groups and developers.
Prices are going to go up. Land prices are going to go up.
The rezoning was first approved in 2018, but repeated lawsuits meant it wasn't a done deal until 2020. The rezoning spans 59 city blocks and allows for new, larger buildings. It also includes community investments like a new cultural center and a 20,000 square foot library. Developers invested in the rezoning were certain it would bring positive change to the neighborhood, but others worried that Manhattan's last affordable neighborhood would no longer be affordable. Developer Eli Weiss of JUDE Construction is working to build a 611-unit building of entirely affordable housing.
The city is growing, needs to grow, and if we don't, develop intelligently, and that means affordable housing, that means, the appropriate services, we're going to stagnate or even worse, shrink.
Over a year later, where does Inwood stand? Affordability and gentrification were major concerns raised when it came to opposing the rezoning.
Burberry Rose bought a 13-building portfolio. We had churches like St. Jude getting phone calls left and right from developers who wanted to buy their land. And what we see is high speculation, and therefore that leads to gentrification, that leads to displacement.
However, developing new buildings takes time, and that means seeing significant changes takes time. Right now, the streets are still bustling and there are still small businesses operating. But there are visible signs of change to come. Active construction zones, stores for sale in prime locations, and changes to public spaces are in the works.
I am always sensitive. I've lived in New York my whole life, and when you live in a neighborhood, you're very attached to it, and there's definitely a feeling of, concern for any type of change. Have waited a long time, whether it's, the issues surrounding the litigation and the rezoning. So we're extremely optimistic and hopeful, but at this point, the ball's in the city's court, but we are very pleased with the feedback we've been getting. I think they do recognize the importance of the project.
The city continues to promise and never deliver, right? Because the only thing that developers have to go by is the MIH level.
Still, rezoning advocates and opponents alike have yet to see if fears of gentrification and displacement are unfounded or not, or if other developers will be as committed to keeping Inwood's community as vibrant as it is. Check back with The Real Deal for updates on what happens to Inwood.